I'll be with you in a moment. All right, so I've got subscriptions to, this is doing a 3 countdown, awesome screenshots. And I've got a subscription to, this thing just, I forgot what they call this app, but they're recording now. So hello, my name's Neil Sandage. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, 322-607. I should be in a dress office shirt and coat, but this is a kind of volunteer thing. I am a Federalist Republicanism Monarch Conference, or Conference of Monarchs. Republicanism Monarch Conference. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. Or we'll work with that. Anyways, it's Republicanism. It's federal. It's a conference. It's not a party. So here's the voting. Amendment number 4, Florida Amendment number 4 is a no. The Clean PC thing, it would kick educators and environmentalists out of the voting process by requiring environmental bills to pass twice. And it says it would cost more money, and not-for-profits don't have a lot of money. So that's a no. That would be cheating out the honest people, who honesty is, a not-for-profit operation. And so then Florida Amendment number 1 is also a no. The League of Women Voters says there's xenophobia. Also, the age of 18 is wrong. It should be 13 or 20 or 24. Age 18 doesn't mean anything. Anyone who authors a bill or law that says age 18 hasn't lived. Okay, it's like, this is legal, let's cheat them out of the vote. I'm like, they're not even thinking or trying to be deceptive. They're just a bunch of So that also, I believe that I should be able to vote for anyone in the state of Florida or anyone within a 4-hour drive. I do not believe in voting districts. I believe that there is a district to be managed and that we should be able to vote for everything within a 4-hour drive of where we live. I really honestly believe that. You can reduce it to a 2-hour drive or a 1-hour drive. Either way, I want a radius of influence. It's a word that exists. It's a thing, a radius of influence. And this says you have to be in the county. Like, what if my number 1 researcher for whatever law involving environment or something like that has to go somewhere else and do case studies somewhere else, has to do a long case study of how this influenced some other place, and they're out of state for more than 6 months to study a river somewhere else and how the wildlife and everything gets along because of the 6-month citizenship rule for a state. They wouldn't be allowed to vote, even though they're most qualified person in the research project for the amendment or bill up on the ballot. So that's a definite no. FIA Amendment 3 is a no. For Florida Amendment 3, it needs to be an FL, so it looks like an FI. Open should increase the number of people, not decrease the number of people. They say get rid of parties and have an open run of only 2 people, though. So that would be the same as having 2 or 3 or whatever parties. They say it would increase costs, even though you would only have 2 candidates. That's not acceptable. That would be the same as having 1 party each and primaries and everything. It'd be easier for an honest person to get through the separate path than this. And I have no idea how the hell open would cost more. Open should always cost less. Ballotpedia says it would cost more. We're voting no just because it doesn't increase the number of candidates for environmental or agriculture or anything. Great. But it should be open. It should be open. But it only has 2. Open and only 2. All right, I'm going to vote in favor of open. But it should not be only 2. That's really fucked up, man. Open, but only 2. Either way, all agricultural things should be open and not party. It's an open resource, complicated, but it should be open. It shouldn't be party, anything. It's about nature. It's not about party affiliation and group. So I'm changing my position on amendment number 3. We want it to be open. I don't like it to be limited to 2, but we do want it to be open. Great. Then amendment number 2, and I get that these aren't in order, but this is how Ballotpedia listed it. It is 4132. All sorts of problems. But amendment number 2 is a yes, but we want to stop it at $10 and put $5 into escrow for improvement of facilities or whatever. But it has to be related to the safety, education, legal protection, etc. of the employees. So we're willing to go to 10. Also, there will have to be amendments that say that startup templates, like if you don't have money to pay people $10 an hour, how do you keep mom and pop in business? And so that's going to need to happen where shares of profits instead of a fixed number. Fixed numbers aren't acceptable, but fixed numbers make math a hell of a lot easier. I'd rather just make everything $10 an hour and try and lock in on that. So it's like we're going to pass this and then we're going to attack it to stop it next year in 2021 after it goes to 10 years. So save our homesteads. Florida Amendment 5 is a yes. We want a steady state. Amendment 6, homestead, is also a yes. Even though it's ad valorem serial killers, it does stuff to protect monogamy. And all we really care about is monogamy, but it is not something to be limited to the military because the military is bad for monogamy. So it's like a mind fuck. Fundamental truth, does this benefit monogamy? It does. Does this law apply to all the citizens? No. Who does this law apply to? It only benefits those who kill the white genocide of all the earth, the Russians, anybody who's a better white, a fitter white, or a prettier white. It only benefits them, but it does benefit monogamy. So this law will have to be revisited and made to apply to all the population and not just serial killers, pay grade mercenaries who accept money because they can't survive in the country, they can't survive in the city. But here's a check if you will leave this nation and go kill people who are better looking than everybody at Walmart. True story. It could be selective. I like Publix. They're not sexier than Publix, but Walmart, I eat while I walk in Walmart. So you can include me in the Walmart group. I go to the deli, I try and check out, and then I have an open container of food that I eat as I shop. You'll find out in a moment. So the surtax of 5% or 5 cents, half a cent surtax for education. For education, hell yes. For public education, hell yes. This is for charter schools, hell no. Public taxes for public expenditures. Public taxes are not for private corporations. This is a no. The half-cent tax or surtax for charter schools isn't part of state records and record keeping, is a no. All record keeping has to be federal and state, etc. It's a no. It has to be state for state, federal for federal, etc. It can't be for private entities that teach Waldorf or whatever, where everybody has swords and everybody runs over and kills the cow, kills Aaron, and everybody thinks they're Moses to kill all Aaron. We don't want these Waldorf, whatever private charter schools of sword play, chasing down and killing all the farmers and all the Aarons of the Bible who are supposed to lead the faith. So no, but I will vote in favor of a half a cent tax to education, but it has to be only for public education. Yeah. And so why do charter schools look better than public schools? Because the public is giving us money to private schools to make the public look shitty. Someone's angry. And 8, Jack's charter referendum, a change for JEA council, where JEA would be on the city council. No. Okay, no. It sounds kind of nice if JEA is doing all the electric stuff and trying to have a direct communication with the electric utility since it's a part of the city. if I was working for JEA, I would want that for sure. That way we could weigh in on, give them sense or information about how it influences things. But here's the real deal. I come from a farm family. Both sides of my family are farmers. We're still growing citrus, pears, and apples, and figs on our property, pecans and dates. So we're still growing all that. Everything should be run off of your vehicle to your house. We don't want JEA on city council because all your electricity should be coming from your automobile with 3 deep cycle batteries. Okay, when you park your car, you ought to plug in your house to your car or truck or automobile, your auto 4 cycle, then powers the entire house. There shouldn't be these wires in the air. There shouldn't be all of this. There should just be connect power to the house. And the only municipal power should be the telecommunications and the data. There should not be power lines anywhere. There should only be data lines, data communications. So no to JEA, yes to Comcast, or yes to Xfinity or AT&T, but no to JEA. We will allow a communications worker to be on the communications board of the city council. We will not allow JEA, when all electricity should be coming from the vehicles, to be city council, because then the city will be planning for electricity that should be coming from an automobile. We want Maserati, who's in Jackson, will be the official energy provider and prototype. Trump as president, Congress, Donna Deegan. Rutherford always votes to shoot himself. Physically, his silhouette around the world. He's a petite, handsome, wonderful country boy who was raised a little bit military loyal, and he doesn't see that obesity in the United States is on a constant climb, because the country boy's like, you go fat people, shoot all those fit people, and he's just not actually using those words. I voted with him to keep Trump alive, but I also differ with him on the Iran thing. We should not shoot Iran because Iran is his size, and the military soldiers and families are bigger than Rutherford and bigger than Iran. Also, they killed a Steve Jobs, the guy who created Apple computers. They killed Steve Jobs, who was the lead general of Iran. Trump did. And that's USA. And then the replacements are all big fat men that look like Cheney or look like Pompeo. Would Rutherford rather Pompeo rule the earth, or would Rutherford rather Steve Jobs rule the earth? So no good with him. For Congress, Donna Deegan is a local reporter and investigative reporter. Excellent brains, excellent everything. And we need women representing the interests of women and their safety. So definitely Donna Deegan. Someone did something awesome there. Supreme Court, Carlos Muniz. District 16, Ben Murias. Duval Soil and Water Group 4, Ashante Green. Duval Clerk of Court, Jimmy Midyetti. Duval Soil and Water Group 2, John R. Barnes. District of Appeals, First Court. I'm leaving all the court things blank because they're all incumbents, unopposed. And it's like, do you want to keep them? Do you want to get rid of them? Don't know anything about them. Not enough information about them. But go back and restudy all the list. Ballotpedia is okay. Actually, it shines on some things. We'll have to find... We'll look at it, okay? I don't really like the word pedia, but whatever. I like the word ballot. And man, it sounds like bailout. I don't know. I just found it inadequate for a lot of things. We got to follow the templates of these public ones and do it as a federal and tax-funded thing, where people can update and have their own pages and compete with each other like a Wikipedia. But we want it to be stored and not deletable. All right, concluding this and going to cast all these votes. 32207, Jacksonville. Those were my votes. I didn't see Al Lawson or anything like that. It might be every 2 years. So wishing you all well. I didn't see Marco Rubio or Scott on the ticket. So we'll see that when we get there too. I'm stopping this recording.